Hello everyone, welcome to our code for today's video. So, we're going to explain line by line of our grade ledger code. So, I will break it down to manageable sections so you can understand every part clearly. So, we have here our header files. So, we have three header files, which, uh, which are the input output and then standard library and then string. So standard library standard input output is like the printf, scanf, etc. And then standard library, which is the the ffprint, etc. And then we have string.h for the string length, string compare, etc. So we have here another line. This responsible to to make it easier to to make it easier for us to call the file name, the file that stores students' records. So yeah, we use define and we store it in variable file name, which the source is the grade dot text. So I have here our struct definition. So we store here our variables that is necessary in our code. So the struct groups together related data for one student record, their ID, name, and grade. So students ID has a one character plus one for null terminator, and then student name is the user of first name and then grade from 0 to 100. So we have here our function declaration. So these are prototypes for the functions that handle each menu options. So declaring them at the top lets the compiler recognize them even though their definitions come later. So let's proceed to our main function or our main loop. So we have here our first variable that we're going to declare. That we're going to declare, which is a choice, because this will store the user's input according to his choices. So this is the choices. So these are display. So user will choose if his or her going to add new record, list all the records, then search by ID, update grade, class statistics, and going to exit or quit of the program. Then will the user will enter the choice, it will store in the scanf, which is the choice. So we use character here because the user choice will based on the letter. So we have here our so so let's bring go back again. So in our main function, we use a do while loop to display the menu repeatedly until the user types Q or Q uppercase or Q lowercase to quit. So these are so let's proceed to our switch case. So we use switch case to 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 call a function based on the menu options. So if handles both upper it handles both uppercase and lowercase input, as I said earlier. So let's proceed to our first function call, which is our function definition of add new record. So let's go down here. So this is our first function. So so this is our add new record function. So we're going to add new student to our record. So as you can see, we have here declare declares a user record and flag to validate input. So this is so then we use do while loop again for the user to input ID. So we use fget to safely read input, including space and or new lines. Then we use strcspn to remove the new line character. So as you can see here. Sorry. So and then this ensure that the ID is not empty, exactly six letters. So that's why we use conditional statement if, else if or else if ladder. Then it will exit if the user will input a correct number of digits of his ID or her ID. Her ID. Then it will proceed to the name. So we have our name. So it will store in the fgets. So then so you so reads name using fgets and removes trailing new line. Then this is the grade. This will input grade. So reads the grades as an integer, then flushes buffer to avoid buffer overflow. And then it will save the file. It will save the user's input. So it will open the file. We have here a mode of A. So then writes the record in format just the ID, name, then grade. Then close the file, prints confirmation. So it is responsible in store the user input in file. Then F close to safely close the file. If it's our purpose is done, then printf where is the record saved to remind the user or made a user feedback so that the user can know that the info that he the user earlier entered was saved. So we have our second function here, which is all list all the records. So we have here a declaration for the file. So we use R to read, use the mode read. Then we have a conditional statement here. So if the file is not file, then no records found, then return. Then if the otherwise, it will read the file. So it will read all the file, then display it. Then F close if you're done, if the if it's done. Then we have here our third function. So our search bar. So as you can see, this responsible to read the ID to search for. Then we have here our file. So we scan the file. Then we use string compare. If the ID match with the ID in the file, then it will display the file ID, name, then grade. So it will break then. So if not found, then the ID not found. Then otherwise it will close the file. And if if the user able to find the file, and then if it's not found, then it will close the file. So let's proceed to our next function, which is the update grade. So update grade is gets the ID and the new grade. So opens the original and temporary file. So we have here. So so the user we're going to enter the ID, then the new grade. Then it will open the file, which is read and write. The the file will be read, and we have our another file here which is temporary dot text which to write the file. This is our temporary file. If it's not found, then error opening file. Then otherwise, we have here to access our file. So we scan the file, then compare the ID. So if it's compare the ID, then we're going to store the earlier input of user input, then store it again in here in the file. Then it will close the file and the temporary file. They remove the file name and rename the temp.x to file name. And then if found, the file is found, then if the file is successfully updated, then grade updated. If and otherwise, then the ID not found. So that's our update grade function. So let's proceed to our class statistics. So same concept. So we have here various variable declaration, just count and highest and lowest, and then our ID and name. So this this loop is responsible to know the lowest and highest grade. So it will loops through all the records to compute the number of students, sum of grades, then highest and lowest. So after then, we just going to display the file stats according to the reading of file. So we have here. So we're going to display all the information. Here's the students, how many students are, and the average, and the highest and lowest grade. So that is our class statistics. So thank you for watching. I mean, let's proceed to our output of our code. So let's going to run the code. So going to run. So let's make a um, sample output. So here this is our sample output for our code or program. So we're going to select A to add new record. So it's going to input ID. So it should be 6 digits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's our ID. Then our name is let's go with James. Then his grade will be 88. Then it will save. So record save. And then we're going to search by ID. So we're going to search that ID. So as oh, so you're going to search ID. So I missed the list all records. So let's proceed here. So search by ID. So we're going to search so our recent ID. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, it's able to access the user info, which is James, because her ID is 3333 tamang sa 6. So his name is James, then his grade will be 88. So we're going to list all the grades. So we have here all the grades of students. So Lawrence, Kristen, Joel, then James. So that's all records. So we're going to update a grade. So we're going to upgrade Jean's grade. So we're going to input his ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then his new grade will be 100. So grade updated, it will save in the file. So we're going to list all records again. So L. So it is updated. Yes. So as you can see, James is 100 from from 88 to 100. So it works. So let's proceed to our class statistics. So according to the statistics, so we have four students. So let's count them: one, two, three, four. So we have four students. So is it accurate? So the average grades will be 92.75, and then the highest grade will be the 100, which is James, and then our lowest grade will be 75, which is Lawrence. So we're going to quit our program or exit. So thank you for joining me today. So this is my code for the grade ledgers. So thank you, bye.